Derby cannabis dealer caught after police found his ID, scales, and drugs in his car. Wow. Wow. What you got scales in your car for, bro? Come on. Anyway, a young Derby drug dealer made more than £4,000.
Ooh, he's rich.
You know, that's like altogether, he made 4,000. This guy from Dispensary is making 1 million a month. But you know, let's ignore that right now. 4,000. A young Derby drug dealer made more than £4,000 selling cannabis, but was snared when he left weed and an ID card carrying his name in his car. Derby Crown Court heard our police community support officers, these are like plastic police officers, they're not real police, they're working their way up to it, came across the stash when they smashed their way into a Volkswagen Polo registered to the Darley Abbey's Louise Mackle.
Smashed their way into it.
Not a real cop.
So what the fuck is that about? For one, right? What, you just walk past just this bit here, look. They did so as a strong smell of the Class B drug led them to have the reason to believe they would find some. So they walked past his car, could smell weed, so decided to smash his fucking window. Surely this isn't legal.
Claiming they can smell it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I find that's pretty suspect.
It's dodgy as fuck, man. Like, really? Really? You're just going to smash somebody's window because you can smell weed? What about if my car is left on the high street somewhere and I don't smoke in my car, I don't carry weed in my car, but somebody drives past smoking weed and then they mistakenly think that it's my car that has cannabis in it? Are they now entitled to just break my fucking windows?
Well, you know how it is, Macky. I think I smell weed. Oh, I was mistaken. I'm sorry. You know.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely shocking. I can't believe this shit was legal. Because then after this, it says they did so as a strong smell of the Class B drug led them to have reason to believe they would find some. A search of his home. So after that, they've even gone and searched his home because they found the weed and shit. But, you know, a search of his home discovered another Class B drug, ketamine. And analysis of the now 23-year-old's mobile phone found messages that showed he was selling cannabis. What the actual fuck? So this guy is making $1 million a month with his dispensary, which is cool. That's cool, man. You carry on. Well, he's not doing anything wrong in our eyes, anyway. You know, we're cannabis users. It's completely fine. But this guy should be treated the same fucking way, right? Why is he getting or having his door kicked off and shit? And that's what I thought as well. Unsure. Ketamine is a Class B. That's a Class B. Oh, I'm sure that was a Class A, man. But
Ketamine's pretty popular in the UK, right?
It's not like everybody's on it. It's not like a cup of fucking tea. But you know, it's kind of popular. It's more of a sedative, right? It's because using a horse tranquilizer, man.
Dissociative. I'm not too sure. I don't really know much
We're
about
using it a lot now in treatment-resistant depression.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah, I took it back in the day, but I haven't done that for a long time. But anyway, so the gun searched his home, found some ketamine, and analysis of the now 23-year-old's mobile phone has found messages showing he was selling cannabis, handing the defendant a 6-month sentence suspended for 18 months. So this pretty much means that if he's good for 18 months, he won't have to serve his 6-month sentence. But if he gets in the shit again, he'll have to go to prison for 6 months and also incur whatever other charges given on him from whatever offences he has committed. So he's been let off for 18 months. Judge William Harbag, whatever, Ballbag said. Sorry. The question for the
strike.
It frustrates me so much, man. It's so unjust. The question for the court is whether the sentence can be suspended, and in my judgment, it can be. Your pre-sentence report concludes you do not pose a risk or danger to the public, and there is a realistic prospect of rehabilitation. He was selling fucking weed, man. He was no risk or danger to the public in the first place, you motherfuckers. God damn. So, and he's only 23 years old, this guy. You know, there are no aggravating features that I see, but on the other hand, there is a raft of mitigating features. You have let yourself down and your family down, but unfortunately, they support you. It's so fucking demeaning. It's what the fuck, man.
Let your family down.
Your pre-sentence. Sorry, Raj.
What he really needed was like a catchy business name, like dispensary or dispensary.
Maybe that would have done it. You know what I'm saying?
Be like, oh, go about your business.
What? It's like, what the fuck, man? You see the double
it's
standards
ridiculous.
here. Double.
Yeah.
It's
Call himself
ridiculous, man.
Dealeroo.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like-
copyright that shit, quick! Quick.
The Dealeroo? I'm a dealer.
Dealeroo. Fucking hell.
Man.
We're,
The way I
we're
look
better
at
than
any other-
Dispenseroo. We sell ketamine too.
That's it. We're a Dealeroo. We got it all.
Sorry, TG.
Well, it's like the invisible hand thing, right? Like where there's a fucking demand, there's going to be supply. It doesn't fucking matter.
Always.
Exactly right.
Always.
Mhm.
The way I interpret any of this kind of this arrests of, like, you know, whether it's big or small scale, the big guys, honestly, the dispensary guy is probably, you know, not that down. He's probably covered his tracks a little bit better
Mhm.
than some, you know, not
Leaving
this
his
guy's.
ID and scales in the car.
Yeah, that's just a, you know, a silly
Mhm.
mistake. But the way I look at it, like I say, is it's not so much like you're doing something wrong. It's just like you're doing something that's not giving us we're not getting a cut. The
Mhm,
government's not getting a cut.
And it carries on
And
into this, TG, in this fucking
all it
article,
is.
man. 'Cause it gets worse, everybody. I know it's bad already, but it gets fucking worse. This is a joke, man. Your pre-sentence report, this is in quotation marks, so somebody said this. Your pre-sentence report speaks of a good attitude and that you have made good progress the past 2 years since the offence. So it's been 2 years again since this offence, and he's only just receiving his sentence now, like the article that we covered previously. Many of the articles that we covered previously, because there's just no space in the prisons for people to go to, and the justice system is so crammed and over. Oh, what am I looking for, man?
Overcrowded.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just there's no space for any of these cases to go
No.
through. So the people are in long lists, man. So drop all the weed convictions, and you're gonna see a shitload of them disappear, and you can start prosecuting people for real fucking crimes. But anyway, in the
You know
past,
what?
sorry, TJ.
I was just gonna quickly say the most sinister thing about this shit is, like, this guy is clearly not a danger to society. Even dispensary guy who's selling a shitload, he's not a
Mhm,
danger. He's
mhm.
supplying a need. That's a very accessible way to do it.
Mhm.
But when you put these people in jail, that fucks them up.
Yep.
That ruins their lives,
Mhm.
and that actually damages society, because now maybe they are fucked up. Maybe they do have, like, some fucking chip on their shoulder, or just
Yeah,
being in
it's,
jail
it's
is
like
fucking
Andy
weird.
Dufresne,
You're
isn't it?
not-
In Shawshank, it's like, you know, when I was outside, I was clean as a whistle. I had to come to prison to become a
So-
criminal. You know.
Exactly. Prison is supposed
Yeah.
to be about rehabilitation, but it's not. It's about fucking incarceration and
Mhm.
profit,
Mhm.
essentially, at this point in the game.
That's
So,
right, man.
Well, once you've got that
Doesn't help
criminal
anybody.
record on you, it's a lot harder to find somebody, an employer
Absolutely.
who's willing to work with
and
you.
that
So, yeah.
too, fucking rights, man. So,
So
like, it's-
it says in here, we carry on here, your pre-sentence report speaks of a good attitude and that you have made good progress the past 2 years since the offence. And importantly, you have stopped using drugs. I am satisfied your remorse is entirely genuine, and it seems you have grown up to some extent and got a job with a reputable company. What, like Dispenseroo? Yeah,
It's a
that's-
bud tender
what
for
the fuck,
Dispenseroo.
man? Sarah
I work
Slater.
in the weed industry, you know, like, it's legal here. Do I have a reputable job because it's legal here, but over
That's
there
a good
it's not?
fucking point, mate. It's a good
Fuck,
point.
man.
Yeah. Sarah
Dipshit.
Slater, prosecuting, said police community support officers came across the silver polo at 6:50 p.m. one night in November 2020. She said they smashed the window and found cannabis under the driver's seat, along with a set of digital scales and the defendant's ID. Like, bro, come on. The prosecutor said he was asked to attend the police station and told his address would be searched, and that is where the ketamine was found. His phone was recovered and downloaded, and there were messages on the phone that support that he had been involved in the supply of cannabis. Matchall of Victoria Avenue pleaded guilty to possession with intent to supply cannabis and the possession of ketamine. He has no previous convictions. So again, it's like absolutely victimless crime here. You know, he's not forcing it down anybody's neck. Anybody who wants it has chosen to come to him and get the shit. Darren Whitehead, mitigating, said his client has savings in the form of inheritance he would use to pay the money back he made. So he said he's a young man of previous good character and his parents remain supportive of him. This is where it gets a little bit fucked up. He just keeps twitching the screen. Just give me a second. I know from earlier conferences I have had him. He has had a stern talking to about this conduct. It is not Sorry. It is not how he was brought up, and for the past 2 years, he has remained out of trouble and got himself away from his use of cannabis. As part of the suspended sentence order, Judge Harbage, the ballbag, ordered Mackle to carry out 150 hours of slave labor. Sorry, unpaid work. He also ordered that the 4,107 and 78 pence, so 4,107 pounds and 78 pence, the prosecution and defendants agreed the defendant made from his illegal ventures is to be paid back in full. What the actual fuck? Paid back in full to who? To who? His customers. Who paid the money? Or does it go to the fucking government and the police, the policy enforcers, the cheeky fuckers, man? It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, yeah, here's the money. You can fucking have it now. What for? God damn.
I'm sitting here and I'm going through the article over and over, and I've listened to you talk about this. How much weed did he have in his car? Does it say that anywhere?
I don't think it says anywhere. No, it wouldn't have
That's
been
the
a lot.
curious part. How much weed do you have to have in a vehicle that with the windows rolled up that they could smell it through the rolled up windows outside the vehicle? That's
I'd
got to
say
be a
a
shit
lot.
ton of weed.
Yeah,
A lot
a
of weed.
lot.
And what they're talking about, it was stored under the driver's seat? Nah. Nah. You can't store that much weed under the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm. It's just, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? It just boggles the mind, especially that bit of the air where at the end there, where it's like you have to pay all the money back. It's like, to who, man? Are you gonna go through all the phone numbers in his fucking phone and send the money back to the people who bought the weed from him? They all bought it voluntarily. Of course he's not. They're gonna take it and give it to the police. I'm just gonna start calling them policy enforcers from now on, because they are not
The
peace
same as,
officers
fucking
anymore.
asset forfeiture and shit. You know, they just steal your shit.
Absolutely. But there's this guy called S who's running fucking dispensary and making $1 million a month.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid here, who's just trying to make a little bit of money on the fucking side, because he probably still lives with his parents at 23, because no fucker can afford to pay the rent anymore. And that was back in November 2020. Imagine now with the fucking electricity and gas bills we have to pay. They're higher than anywhere else in the fucking world. Motherfuckers. They're cheeky motherfuckers, man. It's just so unjust. The double standards here is absolutely ridiculous, man. There's no victim in this crime, but this kid has been fucking punished and stands a chance of going to prison and has to pay £4,000 back to people who didn't even fucking have it in the first place. Sorry, Monkey.
The only victim is the kid himself.
Mm-hmm.
really.
Mm-hmm.
We've
Yeah.
seen it over and over in the UK that these articles, they overinflate the amount of stuff taken off the street. And I'm still looking. I don't see how much weed he had, and I don't see how much ketamine he had. What was it? Like a few tabs of this and a couple of ounces of that? I mean,
Yeah.
It sounds like they made a big deal out of nothing to quote unquote make an example.
And he probably paid the $4,000 to show that I don't want to go to prison, take it all back. He's just trying to avoid prison. But we've reported a few weeks ago about the guy who had 26 fucking kilos of weed, $7,000 in cash, 3 fucking money counting machines, a queue of cocaine, who didn't go to fucking prison. He didn't go to fucking prison. And this kid here, 23 years old, stands to go to prison because he had a fucking little bit of weed underneath his car seat, and they broke his fucking window of his car. In my mind, that's an illegal search. But it just, oh my god, we need to move on to the next fucking news story. I'm gonna fucking lose it, man, because the more and more you look into this shit, just the worse and worse it gets. Because it's just, how is this kid suffering the way he is? Because they fucking illegally raided his fucking car, then his house.
Like you said, man, it's making an example. Low hanging fruit. And he's a poor kid that's like probably scared shitless. So
Oh God, yeah.
what's he gonna, he's just gonna be like, yeah, I'll do whatever, and
I'll sign whatever, just don't ruin my life is what he's going to try to do.
the media writes whatever the fuck they want, and
Tragic. I should try and find this guy and see if we can get him on for a fucking interview, but he's probably fucking too scared to talk about it. It's probably like Butters out of South Park. He's just, in the Streaming Wars episode, he's sitting in the corner. Buy the NFTs. Buy the NFTs. Fucked up shit, man. Fucked up shit. Good luck, Dispensaru. Keep doing your thing. What we got next?